Check, baby,
Sound
check.
check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Check, baby, check.
Inan Cornelius.
Hey. Hey, check, 1, 2. Check, check.
Check, 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 check.
Check, check. Yep.
Check, check.
Yep, okay.
Check, 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 check. Check, check.
Yeah, ayos naman.
Moving in. Oh, what a knock-o-matic finish. Knocks down to 3. Yes, sir. Mark Bing is going right at Simon Sandagon. Got the basket and one.
We are into our third week of our MPBL PRE-SEASON Invitational 2026. And we're coming to you from the beautiful city of Marikina. Nagbabalik po tayo sa Marikina Sports Center. And this is now our second game of our triple header this Monday, featuring two guards from each team. Paeng-Are returning here for Zamboanga at mga kalaban niya sa kabilang panig. One of the most prominent faces here in the MPBL and the face of the San Juan Knights, Orlan Wamar, will look to help his team stay unscathed here in the preseason. Yan po ang ating unang laban. Actually, second game na pala ito, no? Zamboanga sikat kalaban ang San Juan Knights. Magandang hapon mga kaliga. Ken Pangilinan with Coach Mike Perez. Coach Mike, very eventful preseason so far, and these two teams, alam natin, no, na yung success nila the last 6 years, really impressive, but they're dawning into a new era. Magkaiba yung kapalaran nila heading into the 8th season.
Yeah, I agree. And definitely mga changes rin kasi and the composition of the other teams, the new talents that's been coming in has really brought about these change, not just for these two teams but even the others. And ang maganda nito, makikita natin, may pagkakataon pa sila makapag-adjust in preparation for the regular season.
At batiin natin yung mga nanonood sa atin live on the official MPBL YouTube channel and also on our MPBL Facebook page. And silipin natin, Coach Mike, yung ating updated team standings. We're almost at the halfway point already no, ng ating elimination phase. We saw Abra still remain unbeaten after defeating Mindoro in the first game.
Yeah, I agree. And even Batangas right there in Group A, number 2 in that spot. Samantalang itong sa kabila naman, Quezon and San Juan leading the way in Group B. So dito makikita mo yung different teams are really trying to catch up with some of the known leaders. But Batangas, how about the new improvement on that team? We'll get to see them in some other game days.
So itong last 2 games natin, lahat ng teams bahagi nung very competitive Group B here in the preseason. Unahin natin pag-usapan itong Zamboanga Sikat, Coach Mike, because last season, pumasok sila in the playoffs. Dito nahihirapan sila no, against Muntinlupa in a game where they had a strong start. It was 10-2, but Muntinlupa caught fire at hindi na na-recover itong Zamboanga.
Yeah, and after the first quarter, tama ka doon, the offense really just stalled for them and defense couldn't contain Muntinlupa's pace. Transition defense was a major roadblock for them, giving up 31 fast break points. Kind of like a recipe for the tough game that they had. They had too many turnovers, 20 to which they shot only 29%. The bench provided the energy, but the starters really struggled, and rebounding was a solid effort. They got 45 rebounds, pero again, they weren't able to convert them to enough points to get them a win against Muntinlupa.
Ang magandang balita naman no, para dito sa Zamboanga Sikat, kahit pa natalo sila nung larong yun, in the second consecutive game, Inan Fornilios had a really strong output kalaban itong Muntinlupa.
Yeah, in my opinion, the lone consistent scorer. He carried the offensive load for Zamboanga. 17 points on a 6 of 14 shooting. It was 3 of 7 from the 3 points. Had 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and to go with playing defense, a couple of steals and a couple of blocks. It just shows you what other facets of the game which Inan can really contribute for Zamboanga Sika.
And they look to bounce back today, going up against the mighty San Juan Knights. And in their last game, which was 6 days ago, kalaban itong Ilagan Isabela. This was pretty much a back and forth affair. Ilagan Isabela had their moments. Lumamang din sila ng bahagya, but San Juan just pulling out all the stops.
Yeah, 14 lead changes, 11 times tied. The victory really came from a massive bench production, strong interior scoring, balanced contributions across multiple players. The depth, you see 62 points off the bench. The turnovers though nearly cost them as they gave up 26 points to Ilagan, but the clutch execution in the fourth quarter, in my opinion, really sealed it as they outscored Ilagan 20-16 in the crucial fourth.
And plenty of things to look forward to. Bahagi na dyan si Jerry Abadiano, who top scored for them, playing just 20 minutes. But you see the production, really impressive galing dito kay Abadiano.
Yeah, 14 points, 2 out of 3 from the 3 points, a couple of rebounds, a couple of assists. Really just Jerry providing clutch scoring punch, and he was one of the very consistent perimeter threats para dito sa San Juan Knights in that game.
And that's why this should be an interesting matchup between these two teams, Zamboanga and San Juan. In our second game, punta na natin si Miguel PRE for our starting lineups.
And features Zamboanga versus San Juan. This is the 2026 Manny Pacquiao's MPBL Pre-Season Invitational. Time to meet our starters, beginning with Zamboanga Sikat. Starting at center, number 11, Dave Bernabe. At forward, number 22, Arthur Calisay. Also at forward, number 19, John Rojas. At guard, number 15, Reg Gabat. Also at guard, number 2, Gino Mosqueda. The head coach for Zamboanga is John Sia. Assistant coaches, Tay Hermoso, Mav Caro, Thirdy Caro, and Joseph Hiso. Team manager is Martin Go. The team owner is Zamboanga City Honorable Congresswoman Kat Chua. Here comes the starting five for the MPBL Season 2 champions. San Juan Knights. Starting at center, number 8, Raul Soyud. At forward, number 11, Raylan Torres. Also at forward, number 9, Dexter Maiquez. At guard, number 19, Jerry Abadjano. Also at guard, number 81, Harold Alarcon. The head coach for San Juan Knights is Alex Angeles. Assistant coaches, RB Mangas, Jigs Guadamor, James Ongpin, Paulo Gorospe, Jeff Taonera, Dino Ponce Enrile, PJ Maningan, and Crisel Padua. The team manager is Jun Usman. Team owner is Honorable Senator James.
Starting 5 para sa Zamboanga, Chino Mosqueda, Reg Gabat, Dave Bernabe, Arthur Calisay, and Edsel Rojas. Para naman sa San Juan, Jerry Abadiano, Harold Alarcon, Raul Soyud, Dexter Maiquez, and Raylan Torres. Our referees for this ball game are Jay Francisco, Rodel Brila, and Natsu Kabaktulan. And the fourth referee, our alternate referee, ito si Ronnie Cuevas. And the tip going to San Juan. Alarcon immediately attacks. Alam mo tong kombinasyon ng San Juan. Of course, you have the free UP boys. But apart from that, apat dito kung yung nagkakamali, mga Ilonggo to eh. Si Dexter Maiquez, Kapampangan. So si Harold, si Raul, si Raylan, saka si Jerry.
Oo. At saka pansin mo yung ano eh, no? You know, Harold Alarcon coming in with the other, you know, UP Fighting Maroons with him. And even if you talk about the connection with the perpetual players in Nunez, Coral, and Patrick Sleet, no? You see a lot of chemistry with these guys on the floor. And so itong preseason talagang ginagamit nila Coach Alex Angeles to have an opportunity for them to blend with the tenured players, so to speak, para dito sa Knights.
Raylan Torres on the right side, guarded by Chino Mosqueda. This is a good matchup between these two.
Yeah, indeed.
Kasi parehong two-way guys to eh.
Yeah. And I think that bodes well for, you know, both these players, because one is a really good defensive player and the other one is pretty much, you know, perimeter threat that we talked about at the start of the coverage. And having both would really show kung ano yung mga iba't ibang pwede lang maitulong.
San Juan turns the ball over. Mosqueda, one of the holdovers para dito sa Zamboanga. Rojas swings it to Calisay. Mosqueda again with 8 on their shot clock. Pocket pass intended to Bernabe. Deflected and stolen away. What a pass! Soyud connecting with Harold Alarcon, who has scored the first 3 points for the Knights.
And these are some of the things that I feel guys like Harold Alarcon would be enjoying playing this season for the Knights, because they have bigs that can actually, you know, leak out and provide them those transition baskets. Another basket right there, this time from Jerry, who's we talked earlier, one of the consistent perimeter threats so far in the Knights this preseason.
5-0 in favor of the Knights. Calisay, pasa sa ilalim. Wala pa din para sa Zamboanga.
Well, very early you see the shot selection for Zamboanga. A lot really coming more from inside of the arc instead of outside. Here you see a little play on the defensive end, and the Soyud quick to acknowledge that leak out by Harold Alarcon. And then on the other end, Jerry feeds it over, recovers, and pulls up. A clean-looking shot up close.
Alarcon pulling up. Can't get that one to fall. Rebound nakuha ni Reg Gabat.
Reg is one guy that hasn't really gotten himself going this preseason.
Well, he had a strong first game. Pero pagdating dito sa laban nila sa Muntinlupa, only had 2 points on 1 of 5 shooting. Siyempre, kung ikaw si Reg, you wanna bounce back here.
Yes.
Kasi isa na siya sa malamang aasahan dito, no, for Zamboanga, as MoneyPay is the digital wallet built for the community.
Tsaka, I mean, let's face it, the absence of three-point shooting guys like JP Kawilan in a way, clogs the paint kasi everybody just going on drop coverage now against Zamboanga because they are challenging yung shooters nila from the outside.
Yeah, you mentioned their key losses. GP Kawilan, as well as Abdul Sawat. Raul Soyot getting himself going here, playing on both sides of the floor.
Soyot having come in, parang mid of the season yan, ano? In season 7. It was a vital piece, played a good game. If I recall correctly, against Abra, which in my opinion, one of the toughest games of Abra
What a
late
pass.
part of the season. Good pass though, finished by Dexter Marquez.
Abadiano, special delivery for Dexter Marquez. 9-2 ang ating talaan. Kalisay hoisting it up. Wild shot.
Pinadali. Yan ang isa sa mga challenges din para sa Zamboanga so far. Yung chemistry ba? Kasi halos bagong mga personnel on the floor right now for Zamboanga, and a lot of the pieces from last season have actually moved on to other teams.
San Juan just having their way early. Abadiano making that mid-range jumper.
And clearly Abadiano making the most of whatever read that he can that time around. He saw that dive by Marquez was ahead of him. Easy pocket pass. Then again on that little ball screen left side of the floor, elbow jumper, pretty much accurate for Jerry Abadiano.
And we have a timeout by Zamboanga. They're down by 9. We'll be right back. Back with us here at the Marikina Sports Center. More than 3 minutes gone by at San Juan ang nagahari dito laban sa Zamboanga, 11-2.
Well, so far key stats, San Juan Knights having no problems at all, shooting very well from the field, dominating the board, issuing more assists than that of Zamboanga, and really just gives a tough time on the offensive end para dito sa Zamboanga to execute anything. They are right now. They've had 6 tries and all of them have not come in or have gotten converted into points. Rob Sell is right there. Later on, we'll see him with Batang Caloocan.
Batang Caloocan, Batang Kangkalu.
Kangkalu, right.
Kalaban mamaya, Marikina Shoe Masters. Still coming up empty itong Zamboanga. Raul Soyod stepping in for a free, no. Fight for the rebound, a foul will be called on Edsel Rojas.
I see that shot by Soyud up high. Really helps space out yung middle of the lane. Really just allowing Dexter Marquez sa baba, exclusive to him inside the paint.
Abadiano. Pasa kay Harold Alarcon. Kalisay all over him.
2 on the ball.
2 on the shot clock.
Nice
Marquez. Wow. Wait a minute.
Yeah, that shot should not count.
Oo.
Clearly was nasa kamay pa ni Marquez when he got it.
They will review it, but it did seem like that he did not get it off in time.
Kasi merong konting fumble pa bago niya naitira. There.
Yeah, zero na eh. Very clear.
And that rotate though by Bernabe also helped in preventing what would have been a quick shot for Marquez.
Inan Fornillos. Last time I saw him here was where he dazzled everyone in the venue with those rim-rocking thunderous dunks
Oh, yes.
when he was playing with the Marikina Shoe Masters.
Oh yeah.
Diba?
Oo nga, no, kasama niya sila Eloy Tano, still playing for Marikina that time.
Teo Timaho din.
Teo Timaho, right.
Sa loob, Luciano. Are comes away with a miss. Drives baseline. Napasahan si Rojas sa loob. Luciano ulit. Maeng Are off the glass in.
Well, just a little bit late on that rotation, on that scramble of that missed shot. Then a good recovery by Zamboanga. But ito yung nangyayari sa kanila even in the game against Muntinlupa. Yung late clock shot taking para dito sa Zamboanga. Kaya ang baba ng shooting percentage nila in that game. They shot only 29%. A lot of it has to do with the defense of Muntinlupa.
But also, let's not forget that I already mentioned they've lost a couple of big time players.
Yes.
Abdul Sawat and JP Kawilan, both all-stars. And transition phase sila ngayon under Coach John Sia. Cornelius hits the deck. Agaw ulit ng San Juan ng bola. Wamar is now in for the Knights. Abadiano tries a three and he hits it.
Sobrang komportable ni Abadiano. He is shooting right now around the high 60% from the field. And then you see he's not, hindi tumitigil no? Patuloy lang siya. Pag nakita niya libre, he will take it.
Saan nakikita kong maganda ngayon kay Jerry Abadiano is really picking his spots well dito sa offense ng San Juan. As they come away with another steal. Wamar thought though that Raul Soyod was trailing on the play. Mosqueda will make them pay. Counted plus a foul. He will shoot to the line for a bonus free throw.
One of the guys that got retained from last season, see that miscue on that pass, thought that Soyud was trailing him, instead turnover, and Chino Mosqueda just going to work.
Mabuhay ang bagong kasal, Chino Mosqueda.
But one of the holdovers from last season, that was a good run. At some point, they could have been 17-0 to start the 17 games. A lot of close games that they won, a couple of which they lost. And then after that, doon na nagsimulang maging mahirap yung mga laro nila, which gave them a tough time closing out strong in the regular season.
This is the familiar play that San Juan likes to run. Maiquez, they swing it. Wamar, a second remaining on a shot block from mid-range, no good. Ball back to the ground, it will stay with the Knights.
Dito mararamdaman yung absence ng bigs talaga or the lack of para dito sa Zamboanga Sikat. Another offensive rebound right there for the Knights. That is their fourth offensive rebound. And nearly half of their rebounds have been offensive.
Abadiano susubok ulit. That time, a miss. Alarcon gives up a foul.
Tsaka defensively, as you see that foul by Alarcon as he got beat on that sideline with Are trying to squeeze himself in there. Ang hirap dito is that halos parang wala ka nabibit na primary defender against San Juan because everybody's quick to their feet, and sa lalim ng bench nila, they are quick to substitutions. It gives them fresh legs always and a lot of energy on the floor.
San Juan's in penalty though, so Paeng Are will shoot 2 free throws. Patrick Sleet, Aldrich Ramos, and Mike Calisaan all coming in for the Knights. As Paeng Are hits the first free throw. Si Paeng Are, nung playoffs na lang naglaro ito last year with Zamboanga. Because he was contemplating on whether to continue his collegiate career, but ending up turning pro, foregoing his final playing year for San Sebastian.
Yeah, and that last game, Paeng was really on a struggle. He was 1 out of 9 from the field, and his 9 points, majority really coming from the free throws, and he wants to definitely make up for those misses.
At may foul laban sa San Juan. So this is something that Zamboanga could take advantage of. Jason Puray will make an appearance here for Zamboanga. Nasa loob na rin for San Juan si Terence Cortea.
So far, Ken, talagang Alam mo yung shooting na parang minsan iniisip mo kung may bagagwardya ba sa akin o wala. You're second guessing yourself. Sama parang ganun yung nararamdaman ko dito sa Zamboanga sikat because the rotation been very quick for San Juan.
Extreme ang subok at kompletong appliance grand ng Pilipinas. Mintis yung unang free throw ni Edsel Rojas. Coach John Sia, former teammate of our
Yeah.
good friend and colleague, Coach Christian Luanzon.
Yes.
May I add na magkasama silang nanalo ng dalawang championships with St. Stephen.
Yeah, when they were in high school, right? And so you and I were talking to him about if Coach John's gonna play dito sa Chinese League nila, no?
Philchai.
Sa Philchai.
Eh, nag-coach pala sa
Kalaban.
kalaban, kaya daw ninanalo sila Coach Christian.
O, tsaka may backstory pa si Coach John na kailangan siya ni Coach Christian para mag-champion. The last time magkasama sila, that's the only time na nag-champion si Coach Christian. Ganun kalalim ang friendship ni Coach John tsaka ni Coach Christian.
Of course, if you're watching, Coach Chris, get well soon.
Yeah, get well soon, Coach.
Saka alam ko medyo masama pa yung pakiramdam niya lalo nung napanood niya yung laro ng favorite NBA team niya kanina.
Oh, talaga? Oo
sa lahat
nga.
pa naman ng tatalo, Boston pa talaga.
Matalo na sa lahat, no? Wag lang sa nakaberde.
Yeah. Patrick Sleek making his first free throw. At yung pangalawa, pasok. I'm sure Coach Chris will have nightmares of Peyton Pritchard on his feet. 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Jason Puray. Nasa kay Michael Are. Putting up a free. Ramos clears it for San Juan. Patrick Sleep. Floater. No. Kalisaan inside. Wala pa din. Ball will stay with the Knights. So, the failure of Zamboanga to secure a defensive board has been a problem so far.
Sabi nga nila, you have to close out yung depensa mo with a defensive rebound. So far, going for those boards, mas active itong San Juan Knights. And again, another made basket of extra possessions for them.
Piso-piso lang galing kay Mike Kalisaan. 18-8 is our score. Zamboanga ahead by 10. Cornelius has been working on that shot off the heel though. Puray, the offensive board. Tries to carve out space. Kalisaan comes away with it for San Juan. Portea. Terence Portrea.
My. You see how comfortable si Orlan Wamar not to force it down low, try to find somebody upstairs and found Portea.
That's gonna be the thing for San Juan this season, Coach Mike, because we saw them against Pangasinan, especially in the closing moments of game number 3. They really had trouble executing, lalo nung binantayan na maigi si Orlan Wamar, and he really struggled during that game. And now you have a lot of wing guys that could help him ease off the load from Orlan Wamar. See here with that setup job for Tea.
And everybody was too preoccupied with the other guys downstairs, and just a little ball fake was all the time and the space that Portea needed to clear that top spot and be able to take an uncontested three.
Maeng Are. Harap niya si Orlan Wamar. Wamar deflects the pass. Ball batted around. 2 seconds left sa shot clock ng Zamboanga. Luciano able to beat the buzzer.
Well, late shot clock once again, but this time they were successful in ending it with a basket.
Great presence of mind for Rich Luciano as he was able to bail Zamboanga out here.
Defense was all over, even on that late clock situation. Still, that shot got challenged, but enough for him to make it.
We have a timeout by San Juan with 66 seconds remaining in the first. Lacson, Paul Sanga, and the rest of the Caloocan Batang Kangkalu will take on the home team later, the Marikina Shoe Masters, who I want to add, Coach Mike, despite them being winless, they've been competitive for mostly all of the games so far. So I'm anticipating a lot of people later on, lalo Caloocan with Ian Baclacan there, as Terence Fortea knocks down his second tray to give San Juan a 14-point lead.
And really, the volume of floor spacers that the San Juan Knights have right now, napakalaking tulong sa kanila. Before, talagang clear dependency mo is Orlan Wamar, But now, you've got these other guys, and they're playing a lot of defense.
Kalisaan on the other side of that deflection by Orlan Wamar.
And so far, itong San Juan Knights are really doing everything to get a lot of possessions and a lot of attempts on their end of the floor. They're getting to offensive rebounds, the turnovers. They try to limit that as much as they can, and then they get to the line.
Paeng Are. Pasok ulit ang kanyang free throw dito. 4 points for Paeng Are. Dito sa San Juan kasi, Coach Mike, they're really going all in the upcoming season, because it was the first time in 6 seasons na hindi sila umabot at least in the North Division Finals. So, safe to say, that was pretty much a disappointing finish for their campaign. And ngayon, ang dami nilang dinagdag dito. And still keeping that core intact. You see Patrick Sleet setting up Mike Kalisaan as this lead has ballooned to 16 points. 14 seconds remaining in the first period. Are sizing up Patrick Sleet. These two have gone at it in the NCAA. Paeng Are hitting it over Sleet.
Boy, did they need that.
Dribbling violation against Terence Fortea. 0.3 of a second remaining in the first period. Oh! Counted ba? I'm not sure. 0.3. Can you do that?
Yeah, that's 0.3.
0.3.
Well, it's a catch and shoot on a 0.3. I think they're going to have to review this.
Let's see.
Got it?
Oh, that's close. I don't know.
Well, they're going to look at it again. They
That's pretty
should.
close.
That's pretty close, yeah. That is close. And
Di mo makikita
yeah,
dyan.
wala dyan. Because the shot clock's already off.
Kasi pag 0.3, I don't think you could... Ito.
3. And
Hindi pa gumagalaw. Ayan. Although mayroong tenths of a second, millisecond there. Wow, they counted!
They counted.
Okay. So Paeng Are with a pull-up, and then that heave from beyond half court to cut the lead down to 11 at the end of quarter number 1. Michael Are, 13 points, 2 assists, hitting 4 triples in 15 minutes in that tough loss against Muntinlupa. But alam mo, pag magkasama tong magkapatid na ito, Coach Mike, especially both of them are on, it's gonna be a tough night for the opposing team.
Oh yes, and Mike really was a perimeter scoring spark in that game. He provided the needed three-point shooting, and that's why that 4 of 9 from 3 really helped out in his production for that game. But unfortunately, they lost that one. Still, everybody here inside, still talking about that 3 that they counted.
Last 5 points galing kay Paing Ari.
And so they've had 5 field goal makes. I think only 3 of them you could say were quality looks. That floater by Chino Mosqueda and a couple of other jumpers that went in.
Luciano in traffic. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Alisay to bail them out. Can't get that one to fall. Cortea quickly. Wamar lines it up for free. It's good.
Laking bagay talaga pag hindi si Orlan Wamar ang nagbababa ng ball, and he's just waiting down there for him to be fed that rock 3 from the 3 unchallenged. And the coaches will always tell you that one of the best ways to score is out in transition when you have an open 3, especially if that guy taking that 3 has a really good 3-point percentage, which in this case happens to be Orlan Wamar.
Yun yung luxury niya ngayon, Orlan Wamar. With these college guys, especially yan, sila Cortea, Abadiano, Alarcon, all could create. Aldrich Ramos stretches the floor, nailing that corner 3, and it's now up to 17, the lead for the Knights.
So far, 4 na 3-pointers na i-convert nitong Knights in this game. A couple of them here to start early, second quarter.
Patrick Sleet, balik kay Fortea, layo nito. It will pop out though.
Actually, mga missed threes na ganon, dapat opportunity for them to quickly get down in transition. See a good move right there by Inan Fornidos. An opportunity for them to get numbers, no? Advantage dapat ng offense. Pero ang bilis rin bumaba ng San Juan Knights. So you see 5 guys defending even on a missed shot.
Exquisite pass. Wamar with the time to Aldrich Ramos.
Kung gusto mo dun yung medyo late na roll para dito kay Aldrich, enough to clear that space and good timing on that pocket pass by Orlan Wamar.
2 minutes gone by in the second period. Luciano, tinapik palabas kay Kalisay. Step back free. Kalisay, wala pa din. Wamar secures it. The pass to Sleet ahead. Before that, a foul on Rich Luciano, which actually prevented that easy basket by Patrick Sleet.
Yeah, they were already on the league out. And you like how the Knights are quickly looking up ahead to see if they have advantage in open floor. Eh kung wala naman yun, madali pa rin sila makadiskarte pag dumating na yung mga ibang tropa nila on the half-court set. This was an action later. See on your left side, hinawakan.
Ginapitan ni Luciano, si Kalisaan. John Cia at the helm now for Zamboanga, taking over from Coach Ong Ramos and Coach Egay Makaraya.
Balance scoring for the Knights so far. Abadiano, Kalisaan, and Fortea having 7, 6, and 6 respectively. Variety of ways for them to score.
Unsportsmanlike foul on JC Luciano. And it's been all San Juan so far, having themselves this big 17-point lead. Mike Kalisaan was sorely missed in that playoff push nitong San Juan last season. Saklap kasi parang one day before the playoff started.
Right.
Was where he got that injury.
Yeah. Tsaka, let's not forget to see Coach Alex Angeles right there. Yung action of the two-man game between Orlan Wamar and Mike Calisan was really deadly for San Juan Knights last season. And so with half of that combo out, nahirapan rin makakaroon ng fluidity on that two-man game. Sabi nga kanina ni Coach Alex, halos alam na amuyan itong dalawa no? Kahit na saan sa floor.
Kaya nga kahit naka-masker ito si Calisan, walang problema
Oo, kahit anong maskara isuot no?
Kahit nga tatakpan yung mata, ganun na sila. In sync ni Orlan, no?
Yung mga pasa, hindi madali. Mahirap yung mga pasa minsan nito ni Orlan. Good finish right there for Edsel Rojas.
Undersized big.
Oh, yeah. We've always talked about how he's so good at the post. But again, pag nagdatingan na ibang mas malaki sa kanya, undersized talaga.
Patrick Sleet makes his move, strides down the lane for 2 more points for the Knights.
Those long strides really allowing him to get past that primary defense, get in the middle where he had very little challenge to that layup shot. Violation.
The woes continue for Zamboanga. Backcourt violation against Michael Arin.
See this? Didn't even jab, just went to his right and inan for Nilos. Once he opened that hip, pretty much late na. He was on catch-up mode. Edsel Rojas tried to stun pero he couldn't do anything.
Soberano making his first appearance here for the Knights. Who could forget how he waxed out in that series against Pasay, and here he is torching the nets once again, hitting his first triple right off the gates.
Alam mo yung mga the questions of a lot of the fans of the San Juan Knights were, all right, we're pretty much established pagdating sa rotation. Oh, another leak out right here.
Look out, Patrick Sleet will slam it down.
A strong finish, the other end, everything really just anchored on active hands, active feet. Once you saw the ball handler in problems, everybody just keep going at it. And Mike Calisan ending with that ball and unselfishly giving up this monster slam for Patrick Sleet.
And San Juan just wreaking havoc on both sides of the floor. Patrick Sleet and the rest of the San Juan Knights enjoying a 24-point lead, 45-21. Timeout, Zamboanga. Patrick Sleet, 6 points, 2 assists, returning here in the MPBL after a very fantastic stint with the Pasay Voyagers back in Season 6. Kung maalala mo, he had that 35-point game against Greg Slaughter in Manila. By the way, Manny Pay is the digital wallet built for the community. So he only played in 14 games dahil ano yan sabay-sabay sila nila Clint Escames.
Yes.
That's where their rule where you cannot play anymore in the MPBL and have a special guest license. And nakudlot yung kanyang stint with Pasay, had to return to Perpetual. Villapando just uncontested there to give San Juan the lead back to its biggest at 24 points, 47-23.
Villapando is always one guy that you love. His length and yung sipag on the floor. Especially on the defensive side where he can really match up in terms of speed because of that reach that he has. When you go back to the talk about Patrick Sleet, he really is a high-impact player, high-energy player that provides a lot of hustle and physicality. He's never shied away from that. See this finish right here on that left hand, of that left side of the floor rather, by Villapando. And the moment that Chino tried to help out, it was too late. It's an advantage on that floor.
Alforque, nasa loob na din. So this is the third group already for the Knights. That just goes to show you how deep they have made their roster.
Tsaka pag tinignan mo yung substitution pattern ni Coach Alex, parang in a way, parang nagiging platoon substitution eh, no? 5 different players on the floor at the same time. And these guys, I'd like to think he's doing that para magkaroon ng floor time, makabuild ng chemistry somehow, which would help them in the regular season.
Alforge. Sa palabas kay Soberano. Ngayon na kay Villapando. Back to AC for free. Book it.
Not much you can do if you give him that much space. And all he really does is just to stand right there on an open spot for the 3. You know, at certain points, sinahan pa nga niya yung mga tirang available para sa kanya.
7 of 12 from beyond the arc. And this is a welcome sight if you're a San Juan fan. The way they've been playing with a lot of pace and spacing the floor has been key to their success here. Soberano with his second triple.
Yeah. Not really started with that drive by Villapando. Earlier, naka-convert siya, no? So yung depensa ni AC kailangan tumulong. And that was really that trigger to release that ball over to AC. One of the top 3-point shooters for San Juan Knights to knock it down.
Mauubusan ng oras si Chino Mosqueda.
And the defense has really made it very difficult for Zamboanga to come up with anything. I feel the quality of the shots that Zamboanga is taking has not been that good because of the defense of the San Juan Knights. And at what point in the clock are they taking them?
Pabandang tira, hindi gagana para kay Royce Alforge.
Chino doesn't have runners, so he has to settle down and find an open space on the floor to try and create.
Under 4 minutes left in the second quarter, 50-23, 27-point lead for the Knights. Kalisay, titikada sa 3. Ayaw pa rin makabutas. Villapando.
There you
Couple
go.
of pump fakes. Nahanap si Soberano. Libre para sa 3. And he gets it to go.
This now is the challenge for anyone who's going up against the San Juan Knights. You try and crash the paint because alam mo may mga good rollers and finishers. Pero iniiwan mo rin yung mga shooters sa labas, just like that one.
AC Soberano having one of those flamethrower quarters.
Oh, yeah.
9 points all here in the second period. And mind you, hindi yan nag-start.
Yes.
At hindi rin siya sinimula dito in the second period. But look how deadly he is from behind the arc.
That's why, you know, some teams have that discipline of no help from the corners, precisely for reasons like that you have the deadly shooter in the corner, happens to be AC.
LGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL.
And for this quarter alone, it's 5 3-point makes already out of 7 attempts for San Juan. They were 3 of 7 earlier in the first. Right now they're 5 out of 7.
Royce Alforque's floater. Not close. Paeng Are returns for Zamboanga sikat. 53-24. So, yung mga nawala rin kasi sa San Juan, hindi rin basta-basta yung John Galinato, Joen Sabandal,
Yeah.
Ron Denison, Cranial Viloria. But when you look at their additions, like this guy, JP Boral, kanina nakita natin yung UP guys all contributing. Villapando in traffic. Soberano steps back. Boral jacks up another free off the mark. Paeng Are shifting gears. Got clobbered by his fellow San Sebastian alumni Ken Villapando.
Yeah, there really is just not enough, in my opinion, shot makers from the outside for Zamboanga right now, and shot creators, those who can break down primary defenders and leave them behind and try to get advantage of space. Paeng's been trying to do it. Mike's been trying to. Chino's been trying to feed off other guys, but you know the defense really always a step ahead in every open opportunity on the offensive end para dito sa sa Zamboanga. And so kaya napapag-usapan natin yung quality of shots. Mahirap rin talaga para sa Zamboanga so far through 2 quarters.
Mintis yung pangalawang free throw ng Paeng-Are.
I'd be really interested to find out what the points per possession would be for Zamboanga at the half.
Sigurado mataas. Oh, double cross. But could not finish. Morris Alforque. Mosqueda. Gets it to Paeng-Are. Back to Chino. Bounce pass to Luciano. Posting his defender up. And a foul again against Ken Villapando.
Nowadays, if you get the ball on the post, that is kind of like one of the toughest spots to score from, especially if you get into multiple dribbles. You only score quickly there kung you get a pin down, then he spins, you get that ball quickly. Or you have a pretty dominant big guy that can actually post up, get a couple of dribbles, and go to the footwork and finish. But right now, either of those medyo hirap kung saan makakakuha ng ganun. Itong Zamboanga sikat.
Soberano, the steal in transition. Did not get that one in. Tolly got fouled. Mosqueda behind the back. Ang dami ng steals itong San Juan. They pitch it ahead. Alforque. Laid up and in.
That's 15 turnovers to which they got 19 points out of it. And you know, this is pretty much how the shot selection has really influenced by the defense of the Knights. Foul right there.
Daming agaw, daming fast break points.
Yeah, in the previous game they had too many turnovers against Muntinlupa. As you see this finish right here by Alforque, to which, you know, it was an uphill battle really for them. They shot just, again, babalik tayo sa 29% na shooting, which is very similar to how it is right now. That 3 versus 12 steals discrepancy, that +9 just tells you, you know, passing lanes being covered where a lot of deflections generated by the San Juan Knights.
Merong review on that last foul.
And they were looking at maybe a double foul in that situation.
Kanina pa involved si Luciano. No credit here. He's been fighting tooth and nail for those rebounds.
I think the entire Zamboanga sikat is doing their best, but it's really just been tough going against the Knights.
We have a timeout with 1 minute and 25 left. San Juan comfortably ahead. Counselor Coach Elvis Tolentino of Marikina is in attendance. Medyo nagsa-struggle yung kanyang Jensen Warriors in the preseason. Pero a lot of things to look forward to with their team. Hesed Gabo is now part of that squad.
Yes. Well, it's different if you change the head of the snake, which happens to be Nico Ilorde. You know, a lot of adjustments, especially as Hesed Gabo now fills in those shoes left by Nico Ilorde. And syempre may mga adjustments na mangyayari dyan. But the good thing is you have the preseason to figure it out. And hopefully by the regular season, when it comes, you've already addressed it. Corner fill right there.
JP Boral fading away and will roll out. Let's Gabat attacks. Alforque just able to bother him enough to force another turnover against Zamboanga.
Didn't even need help defense. It's really just forcing him to his weak hand and driving that left side of the floor.
17 turnovers against Zamboanga, and we're not even done here in the first half. 60 seconds remaining. Alforque skips it to Panganiban, puts it on the floor. Alforque will hoist up a three. Something he's been working on. That outside shot. San Juan nailing their 9th triple of the ball game.
That is going to be a huge part of how they play on the offensive end. Yung three-point shot making na yan. Not being solely reliant on either AC or Orland.
Mosqueda skips into the lane. Able to... Oh, wait.
With that shot
yun.
went in.
Malinaw yun.
Yeah,
Walang tumawag.
Right, that shot went
man.
in. Somebody tipped it
Oh, man.
up even before it could get out of the net. See that again. That was a clean drive. It went glass.
Sobrang linaw nito.
Oh, yeah, linaw niyan.
There should have been a whistle right then and there.
That shot should count, without a doubt.
So,
Yes. As it should be.
ano pa naman? Pre-season pa naman.
Oo.
Ano ba? Siguro... tayo rin naman, minsan nangangalawang pa.
Oo.
Di ba?
Oo. Minsan nga, pag nainitan ka, magpapagupit ka pa para mas presko, di ba?
Alam mo, namin nagbabago ngayong pre-season. Si
Oo
Patrick
nga.
Street, nagsimula.
Oo.
Blonde yung buhok. Ngayon, balik sa itim.
Oo.
Pero hindi nagbabago yung shooting ni AC Soberano. All 12 of his points coming in this quarter.
He is 4 out of 4 from outside. Unchallenged, all because everybody was concerned with paint touches para dito sa Knights, and they're off to the running again.
Are steals it. Oh, that was halfway down. And they badly needed that one, especially how things have gone with the Knights having themselves a 33-point second quarter. And they have blown this game wide open. 61-27 is the score at the half. And now, of course, we had earlier in the day our contract signing with our newest partner here in the MPBL. Let's watch this.
Hello mga kaliga, nandito tayo sa Gameville, dito sa Mandaluyong para masaksihan ang napaka-importanteng event na to, ang contract signing ng Sports Plus at ating minamahal na liga, ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Napakadaming dumalo. Nandito ang press, nandito ang mga players, nandito ang mga team owners, nandito rin syempre si Commissioner Emer Oreta at walang iba kung hindi ang ating founder na si Senator Manny Pacquiao. Kaya tara, saksihan natin ito.
Partnership between two powerhouses, Sports Plus and MPBL, elevates the most promising professional basketball league in the Philippines.
This partnership is a big step for Sports Plus as we come on board as the official title partner of the MPBLs for season 2026.
Kasama ko ngayon CEO and President ng ating minamahal na Sports Plus for Season 8. Walang iba kung this is Sir Andre Uy. Sir, first of all, thank you very much. Kamusta po kayo at napakaganda nitong event natin. It's a glimpse of what is to come for Season 8.
Yes, actually, nagpapasalamat ako sa MPBL for trusting us dito sa Sports Plus. We saw the opportunity sa MPBL ngayon na bagong season at a fresh start at makatulong tayo sa pag-improve ng liga.
What is good about the MPBL? What do you see in the MPBL that really made you decide to be partners with them?
Actually na MPBL very interesting talaga yung game na yung liga na yan, no. When I go to the game, I can feel the fans talaga, and the last thing na feel ko yun is nung college ako from the UAP, di ba? Pag napuntahan mo, talagang passion yung mga tao, bigay na bigay todo yung mga players, which seems very aligned dun sa vision natin sa Sports Plus na yun nga, we bring excitement to the game. Yeah.
Kasama natin ngayon, walang iba kundi ang ating founder, ang ating minamahal na founder, Senator Manny Pacquiao. Sen, isa na namang napakagandang development para sa ating minamahal na liga ang pagpasok ng Sports Plus sa atin. Ano pong masasabi niyo sa napakalaking event na ito?
Napakalaking pabor sa atin ito na partner natin yung Sports Plus na ma-maximize natin yung pag-promote ng MPBL at marami pang mga Pilipino makapanood. Dito mabibigyan lahat ng pansin, mga players, lalong gumaganda at palakas pa rin yung mga team natin, yung mga kupunan at patindi na patindi yung bakbakan pag sa ditong darating na mga buwan.
Another great development, no, para sa ating minamahal na liga, ang pagsali ng Sports Plus sa atin. Kumusta ka? Kumusta tong development para sa iyo? Napakasaya nito.
Exactly. So, ang ganda nung sinabi mo, napakasaya kasi habang nine-negotiate natin tong Sports Plus, ang ganda ng proposal nila for us. No, hindi lang talaga, it's not about kung paano ma-promote yung company nila, yung Sports Plus, but they really want to help the league. Ang ganda ng mga pinrepare nila, kaya sinasabi ko lang sa mga fans natin, support lang sila. Maraming mangyayari this season 8. I just hope, kakasabi lang ng ating founder, to all our players, no? Lahat ng players natin, to play the right way. Yun lang naman ang inihiling ng ating founder, na give their best all the time para din to sa family nila and for the fans.
Sa ating mga kababayan, nais kong pasalamatan muna kayo sa lahat ng suporta ninyo at pagtangkilik sa MPBL. Ang MPBL po nandito palagi nagbibigay ng kasiyahan sa inyo at itong darating na season po, season 8 ng MPBL 2026, maraming bakbakan at matinding bakbakan sa bawat kupunan. Abangan ninyo!
Napakaraming dapat abangan mga kaliga dito sa ating napakatinding partnership, no? Ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League at syempre ang Sports Plus. Maraming salamat po kay Sir Andre Uy, the CEO and President, and of course kay Senator Manny Pacquiao.
It's been so far sheer dominance by San Juan over Zamboanga. They lead by 34 points at the half, 61-27. And Coach Mike, San Juan just pretty much had their way, especially when they broke away in the second quarter.
Yeah, indeed, they did, especially on the defensive end. We'll talk about the offensive side later, but again, you go back to the quality of shots that Zamboanga really took. It's been tough looks every time for Zamboanga, and defensively, there's really not much challenge provided by Zamboanga, allowing 54% shooting for San Juan. But again, the paint got protected, but the outside shooting pretty much open for those threes for San Juan, to which they got 10 3-point makes of their 18 attempts, 55% from there. Two players scoring multiple threes in the first half. They also played a lot of defense, forcing Zamboanga into 17 turnovers. We're just in the first half and got 22 points off of it, and the bench has been pretty big so far. Everything just working all in favor of the Knights.
So third quarter just about to get underway. AC Soberano had 12 points all in the second quarter. And he pretty much was able to help San Juan build this enormous lead.
And the scoring so far has been, one might say, pretty elite para dito sa San Juan Knights. They're getting 1.37 points per possession, which is pretty tough if you're going up against a team like that. And while sa kabilang side naman, sobrang baba rin ng ranking ng Zamboanga. They only have 0.6. And what that tells you is that they rarely score on their offensive end of the floor. That's been the tough situation so far for the Zamboanga sikat.
Kanina, nakita niyo si Coach Alex Angeles, Coach RT Bangahas, Paeng Are, scattering in 9 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists against Muntinlupa, played total of 21 minutes. Jerry Abadiano was the one who set the tone in the first quarter. Parang ng first quarter, 7 points na siya agad eh.
Oh, tapos sinundan ni Forte. Nice move.
Nakalusot si Harold Alarcon.
Alcon only played, 6 minutes, I think, in the first half. Good drive right there. One of the very few clean looks that they've gotten in this game for Zamboanga.
Raylan Torres, wala. Nunez sa loob. Puts it back in for the Knights.
And Nunez is gonna benefit a lot from all these experience playing alongside Maikes and Calisan. Another thing on its way.
Hindi lang yung dalawang yun. Minan Fornillos. Sigh of relief from him after finally hitting a 3.
Nandun pa si Aldrich tsaka si Soyun.
Pinanggit mo si Nunez, no? Nandyan pa si Papa Ray, Raul Soyun.
Right. Sobrang dami niyang mapipik ng mga brain sa mga veteranong mga big man na yan.
So yung tatlong taga-UP magkakasama pa rin sa loob.
Nunez and Maikes.
Ang pinaltan lang nila from that starting unit was Jericho Nunez, starting in place of Raul Soyud here in the third.
Right.
Are continues to attack, continues to miss as well.
But again, he went baseline, pero nakita mo, nandun kagad si Harold Alarcon, not opening up his hips, trying to stay squared and not giving up the baseline.
Tulak J from Abadiano, masyadong malakas. By the way, ito si Jerry Abadiano. Among the 4 guys from UP that went here to San Juan, siya yung pinakamatagal na nakasama ni Coach Gold. Kasi di ba, si Coach Gold, before he went to UP, NU, Nazareth School, in high school.
Right.
And even prior to that, Coach Mike, si Kalisay put it back in. Ano ito eh, si Kalisay, dating Adamson Falcon. Si Jerry Abadiano also played for the Adamson Baby Falcons back in UAP season 79. Nagkasama sila doon ni Coach Gold din. So, Mike Aren lays it up and in.
Now Zamboanga playing with a little bit more pace and better defensively, if you ask me. Because of how they rotate. Single coverage, pero at least kahit papano, they're getting in the lanes and making it a challenge on the defensive end. That time really started out with a good box out and then the free and transition of that finish by Are.
Yeah. And just to continue my story on Jerry Abadiano. So, kasi sila Harold, si Raylan Torres, and Terence Cortea, nakasama na ni Coach Gold nung nasa NU Nazareth School na sila eh.
Yeah, I was gonna say Forteo also.
Oo. Si Abadiano, sa Adamson sila nagsimula. And that team featured Carl Tamayo, who was with Adamson before moving to NU Nazareth School alongside Jerry Abadiano. And I don't know if you recall this, as you see Boss Dennis Abella and Philip Cesar, the original Tapal King. So dalawa silang matibay-tibay na players noon. Si Encho Serrano.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Those three were teammates back in that season.
In NU?
Hindi, sa Adamson.
Adamson.
Sa Adamson.
Okay.
Kaya lang, that was marred by yung eligibility issue ni Encho. So they finished that season, I think, 11-1 yata or 13-1. I'm not sure. Pero na-forfeit yung mga panalo nila doon dahil nga sa naging eligibility issue ni Encho Serrano. And Serrano, I recall from that time, was visibly hurt. He was crying during the last elimination game of Adamson kasi nga na-forfeit na yung mga games nila eh.
Yeah.
So eliminated na sila. Kaya sila umabot ng Final Four. But that was pretty much a sack lineup. And just to finish off that story, part of that coaching staff, kung di ako nagkakamali, was Coach John Sia, who was a long-time first assistant coach
Of
ni Coach Gold.
yeah. And those two go a long way.
Maing Are, nakataka sa kabilang dako. Unti-unti nila na ibababa yung lamang ng San Juan. It's down to 25.
So far, San Juan playing a little bit loose right now. And maganda rin yung energy na pinapakita ng Zamboanga Sikat. Even on deflections, on rotations.
Ito, makabawi-bawi man lang ako. Kay Coach Warren Kapitan, who's watching
Oh, yes.
right now this game. Sa loob, Alarcon will score.
And Zamboanga Sikat did everything right there on that defensive stand, but you gotta finish with a defensive rebound.
Cornelius bubbled up. They will reset their offense. The Are brothers are together on the floor for Zamboanga. Edsel Rojas pumukol sa tres, wala. Raylan Torres nakakuha yung rebound. Abadiano shifting gears, bumangga kay Kalisay. Two former Adamson players colliding there.
At saka si Abadiano, nakita naman natin, he's always been really good inside the arc, pretty much within that zone. Pero pagka nakita niya may open na spot underneath and that defense closes out, he will give it that chase. E kanina nakita ni na he already got beat. Ito si Kalisay. Just have to give it up.
Money Pay is the digital wallet built for the community. Coach Alex Angeles, I'm sure, relishes having a guy like Jerry Abadiano in the lineup. Very extensive experience playing for the Gilas Youth program. Appeared in the 2018 FIBA Under-17 World Cup. Maging sa 2019 FIBA Under-19 World Cup. Ngayon, may 9 na puntos para sa San Juan. Ito si Jerry Abadiano.
Tsaka all these yung mga pagbabago sa rotations and the player makeup or roster makeup. Si Ari with a good-looking shot right there for Zamboanga. You know, nag-iba rin yung yung level of skill set, no, and talent that you have this season for the MPBL. And you know, these new guys are gonna bring in new energy for season 8.
So, palpok si Reg Gabat kay Abadiano, no whistle. Raylan Torres posting up Michael Are, turnaround jumper will not work. Past the midway point of the third period, Jericho Nunez secures the miss of that Reg Gabat jumper.
The running shake right now, and you should expect, a lift from the corner. They turn it to a middle ball screen now.
Abadiano for 3.
Yep.
Yes!
Give him enough space. He's gonna hit you. Kanina pa yan, even the perimeter.
Yeah.
And you're really just surprised na naka-drop ka against him.
3-level scorer talaga to si Jerry Abadiano. Actually, sila ni Terence Cortea. Sa loob, pumunta ang Zamboanga. At sa wakas, nakapuntos sa ilalim si Dave Bernabe.
He's a guy I'm sure that they brought in expecting for him to contribute scoring-wise. Good read right there by Edsel Rojas. Little rotate by Nunez, pero nakalift na. Ito si Dave Bernabe.
Naging magkakampihan sa Quezon City. Galleries Taipan, si Dave Bernabe at si Edsel Rojas.
Si Dave ba played for CEU?
Oh,
No, kasama niya sila Jello, no?
sila Franz Diaz.
Right, Franz Diaz.
Franz Diaz,
This was the time of Coach Jeff Perlas.
Coach Jeff.
Yeah.
Tama. 72-45. They won a championship together. Si Daniel Marcelo, doon din.
Yes.
So lineup nila doon. Michael Are,
Yeah.
dami niyang nilusutan doon. Pulling up from 20 feet.
So much better shooting for the Zamboanga sikat this quarter. I mean, and they're getting in different spots on the floor, not just exclusively inside the paint. Pero Jerry, iba rin talaga.
The Jerry shot. Master of mid-range to. Silang dalawa actually ni Michael Are.
Totoo. At saka alam mo yun, yung how the game is played nowadays. It's really threes, rims, and the free throw lines. You have to be good at the three. Pero si Jerry Abadiano, even, the midi game, may laro din eh.
That in-between game.
That's right. That's why he's a huge threat offensively.
And he has really mastered that through hundreds, thousands of shots. At that time, Marquez joining the three-point parade. Ayan, naksan mo.
That's the 12th. 12 3 points
12.
out of 23 attempts.
Shooting at a very efficient clip.
Yeah, very close to 50%. And in this quarter, they're 2 out of 5. They're still pretty much roughly about 40%. So, maaaring hindi ganun karami pagtira nila ng tres, unlike the first 2 quarters where they had 7 in each one. Talaga nga namang they just understand when to pick their spots on the floor.
That's the thing with them, talking about tong San Juan. Because last season, ang taas din ng clip nila from the outside, pero low volume.
Yes, low volume.
Ngayon, nung pinasok mo yung mga manlalaro, agaya nila Jerry Abadiano, Terence Cortea,
Yeah.
and then Orlan Wamar still there, AC Soberano as well. You could really see that three-point
Oh, yeah.
shot attempt jack up, and you see another one go down courtesy of Orlan Wamar.
And one might say one of the reasons kung bakit hindi high volume in three-point shooting last season para dito sa Knights is because a lot of their actions have really been anchored on an Orlan Wamar, Michael Isian two-man game. Another 3 on its way. Oh boy. This is 13 of 24 shooting from 3. And they're 3 of 6 in this quarter alone. Speaking of the Knights. And now, you really don't have to spray out the three-point shot attempts kasi even downhill, kaya nila,
Shooting 56% from downtown. The San Juan Knights. Luciano throws it away. Patrick Sleet.
Oh, no.
Cortea. Sleet. Corner triple. Gets it to go!
Goodness. A couple of really good three-point shooting guys right there, Fortea and Patrick Sleet. Fortea so far, he's shooting 66% from 3. And Patrick Sleet is 2 out of 2 after that made 3. This time, a little tweak on that two-man action with Michael Isan, Orlan Wamar, a beneficiary of that shot. This time, Patrick Sleet, unguarded, no problem, knocks it down. And then one more time down the floor, Patrick tried to go and release it over to Fortea. Fortea gives it up to the corner, and Patrick sizes it up and makes them.
4 consecutive triples for San Juan. They have opened up this 37-point lead. (86-49). Mike Kalisaan against Ilagan Isabela, 12.6 rebounds, 6 of 11 shooting from the field in 24 minutes. Tonight though, Patrick Sleet, 12 points, hitting both of his threes. Had that slam dunk earlier. And, hindi bago sa kanya ito, Coach Mike, because when he played for the Pasay Voyagers, he scored in double figures in 13 out of his 14 games that he suited up for Pasay. Reg Gabat finally hits a 3. Kasama pa niya doon si Lawrence Victoria sa Awarin Bonifacio. So, dito sa San Juan, where you have a multiple array of scorers, as they move the ball around, Orlan Wamar hits it from downtown.
Oh, there's always that one more look, that paint touch, that spray to the corner, and that one more pass leading up to Orlan Wamar. And to your point, Ken, about Patrick Sleet, when he played for the Pasay Voyagers, I feel he benefited kasi early in the season parang hindi 100% si Lawrence Victoria nun, no?
Yeah.
And so he was primarily the guy that took over on the offensive end, and he really went to that spotlight, took advantage of it, learned a lot, went back to the NCAA, used a lot of it in his experience when he played for the Perpetual Help team. When he comes back here this season with a barrage of talents right in front of him, it just makes the game even more easier for Patrick Sleet.
Kaya naman, laking kawalan, no? Ni Patrick Sleet nung playoff run ng Pasay noon.
Yes.
He could have been a big help in that first round series against Nueva Ecija.
Tsaka doon talaga naramdaman nila yung absence ni Patrick Sleet. Warren Bonifacio and Lawrence Victoria had to work double time. Orlan, wow! Oh my! That wasn't off his hands, pero alam mo na yung rhythm and that shot. You've seen that a lot of times. And you knew that he took it within his comfort zone. And Jerry Abadiano, boy, he's been really good so far through 3 quarters.
Jerry Abadiano, 14 points. And just raining it down on all angles. 7 points in the first quarter, 7 points here in the third. And it's all San Juan heading into the fourth. They lead 92-52 over Zamboanga. Orlan Wamar, 11 points, 7 assists.
I like that.
2 triples against Ilagan Isabela. San Juan, 7 out of 10 from beyond the arc in the third quarter. Majority of those coming from Orlan Wamar.
Orlan Wamar. My goodness. That was a good one, Ken. But again, much as you get awed by the shot making, well, it really is the ball distribution and the ball movement that really has allowed this freedom. Another 3 on its way.
Ako po, tapikan pa. Patrick Sleet, wala pa din, tapikan ng bola. Portea for free. And couple of frees missed in the start of the fourth. Semi-quarter scoring ng San Juan. 28 in the first, 33 in the second, 31 in the third. Man. Opening up this 40-point lead. By the way, speaking of that number, batiin ko lang ulit. Palagay ko nagising na sa kanyang pagpahinga. Binati natin kanina to, si Coach Christian Luanzon, who's watching right now. Dami sinabi sa'yo, Coach.
Coach. But really good stuff about yung history niyo ni Coach Jan. Si
Coach Jan ba, may magandang sinabi Coach Chris kanina?
Oo naman. Si Coach Jan is nagcha-champion pagkasama niya. Aldrich for 3. Oh!
Sama na. Pang ilan na nila yan? 18.
Yeah.
Triple.
I'll tell you what, close of the third quarter, they closed it on a 6 of 9 3-point shooting.
7 of 10 nga sila kung third.
7 of 10 in third. They open now with 1 of 3. They missed the first 2 and then this one by Aldrich. Wala rin, it's tough for the defense of Zamboanga because that's well spread floor and the initial actions had to be inside the paint, so you're leaving shooters out.
Cornelius will trigger it in. So si Michael Are with a long 2-point shot from the right corner.
San Juan is shooting 58% from 3. Grabe yun. On a volume shot attempt, 18 of 31.
Yeah. 95-54.
You know, originally dapat si Coach Christian magko-cover dito eh. I'm sure he would have enjoyed covering this game, especially with the shooting being shown by his guys in Fortea, in Abadian.
Kanina pa silang dalawa eh.
Oo.
Alarcon had his moments as well.
Yeah, Abadian was 2 out of 2 from 3. Fortea was 2 of 4.
Alam mo, mapaproud din siya. Kasi sabi ni Coach Jan kanina, sobrang proud siya eh na nanalo sila 2 championship.
Si Coach Jan?
Oo.
Yeah.
Proud talaga siya. Pangkulang daw siya. Pero isang bagay daw, kasi Coach Chris, sinasabi ni Coach Jan kanina, di ba, nag-MVP si Coach Christian sa Pilchay.
Last year.
Tingnan muna natin itong galaw ni Mike Calisa. Hindi na natin nakikita to eh.
Nothing new.
Oo, walang bago.
Classic Mike.
Nag-MVP siya pero hindi sila nag-champion.
Yes.
Si Coach Jan pala, nag-coach sa ibang team.
Oo nga. Yun nga yung pinagmamalaki ni Coach Jan kanina, di ba? Oo. So, panahon na ba para mag-team up daw sila?
Oo, baka daw siya ang kulang dun sa championship drive ng St. Stephen sa Pilchay.
Parang siya yung lucky charm eh, no?
Terence Fortea.
But that Pilchay League is also gaining ground in terms of following.
Yeah.
Nasabi nga ni Coach Jan kanina, ibang klase rin ang diinan ng laro doon. Everybody's very competitive. Eh, kung naglalaro doon si Coach Christian, hindi na magugulat.
Fortea grabs the rebound. And I think ito yung we're seeing it right now, the pace that San Juan is playing. This is, I think, the brand of basketball that they need to do. And nakausap din natin si Coach Alex kanina, no? He's been trying a lot of new things with his personnel right now. He knows how a luxury it is having these guys, apart from the UP guys, Patrick Sleet, JP Boral, I'm sure he's a versatile 6'4" guy who could defend 2, 3, 4 positions. And, this is a redemption season upcoming for them, especially how disappointing that finish was last year, where it was the first time that they did not make it at least in the North Division Finals.
Yes.
LGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL.
So alam mo, this is my first time actually to cover the San Juan Knights, and really, if this is any indication of the style of play nitong San Juan Knights, boy, nakausap pa natin si Coach Alex Angeles kanina na sinasabi niya he's still trying out a lot of things, which obviously we've seen here. And these, schemes seem to fit well with the personnel of Coach Alex. We've seen 5 out, we've seen 4 out, we've seen dribble drive, we've seen some levels of Princeton action, triggers and reads. Iba't ibang paraan on the offensive end na ginagamit ni Coach Alex, and I feel nararamdaman niya yung advantage niya sa dami ng talento at personnel na meron siyang pwedeng mag-fit dito sa sistema ng mga ito.
19 turnovers by Zamboanga. Most of them coming in the first half where they already had 17. That was basically the game already, Coach Mike. Kasi nung second quarter talagang daming steals ng San Juan. In fact, total of 12 steals in the first half. 97-56. Well, for Zamboanga, I'm sure Coach John, this is gonna be quite a challenge for him kasi hindi na ito yung, well, there were some players from last season like the Ari brothers, but the key cogs there like JP Kawilan, Abdul Sawat, not with them anymore, so he has to really make most of what he has at his disposal. See here, San Juan just continuing to put on the points. Alforge with a chance to get themselves into the century mark. Manny Pay is the digital wallet built for the community.
So every time na nakita nilang hindi established yung depensa, lalo na of a missed shot, and they scramble, they take advantage of it. Speaking of the Knights.
Ari, hanap ng papasahan, gives it up to Edsel Rojas. Good drop pass, Kalisay to JC Luciano. 158. Now, Coach Mike, I'll put you in a hot seat a little bit. Soberano, 5 tres na yan, 15 points. How do you see San Juan? I mean, this is just the preseason. Obviously, a lot of changes could still happen heading into yung regular season talaga natin. But with this lineup that they have, how do you see them match up against, obviously, the defending champions, Abra, and then we already saw them beat Caloocan, who themselves had a major revamp. Pero, syempre, nandyan din Batangas. And pinag-uusapan natin how this season, I think the influx of talent is by far the largest, in terms of quality, in terms of volume. Syempre, pasalamatan natin ang stream, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas.
Yeah, when you look at Abra, majority of the core players are still there. I mean, except for maybe Jason Brickman, who's moved on to the PBA. But, some of the key guys, talk about David Gonzalez, Encho Serrano, David Defonso, John Udubap, Alfred Batino, those guys are still in there. And so, chemistry-wise, I feel there's a little bit of advantage on that end para sa Abra Weavers. But with the way that the Knights have been playing, lately, and we've seen the movement and the different guys that have really come in and fit well in the system, and them making good use of this pre-season, might be pretty close, no? Especially, in my opinion, Patrick Sleet coming in, I'd like to think, might be a good guy that they can put up and defend against scoring wingmen like maybe Encho Serrano and even David Defonso. And there is still work to be done, definitely, for the San Juan Knights. But I'm sure in the horizon ang tinitingnan nila especially in their division, itong Abra. So that's where really I'd like to think a lot of the teams have built their roster around this season. Not just itong San Juan. Pinag-usapan natin kanina yung Mindoro. We saw them. They were really good earlier against the Abra Weavers until the Weavers started turning things up in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, just to recap our viewers, kasi di nila napanood yung laban na yun, yung Abra versus Mindoro.
Yeah.
It was pretty much a competitive game until the third quarter. So there were times Mindoro was in the lead. They actually made a run early in the third. Pero yung counter-attack ng Abra late in that period, and then just went all out in the fourth. By your count, mga 30 plus points sila sa
30
fourth.
plus points. They were 70 something and they ended it with 100 points. 100 plus something to end the game.
We'll talk more about that. We have a timeout. We have 3 minutes and 45 seconds left in the fourth. Nagulat siya.
Pero ready nung nakita niya.
Umaura pa eh.
Umaura na.
Ikaw ba, pag may ganyang moment ka, Coach Mike, paano ka ba project?
Ako shy type ako nun nung ako'y nanonood pa lang ng MPBL nun.
Yung iba, mga camera ready. Kaya namin pinapakita itong mga to. Ang dami na pong tao
Yes.
dito sa Marikina Sports Center in anticipation of our next game.
Yeah.
Marikina, again, having a chance to play at home against Caloocan this time. Coach Alex Angeles, quite a journey in his
yes.
coaching career, no?
Yeah, we talked about it. He went to first joined Kia, I think. That's what's his story. After playing basketball, he went to Kia, got pulled in there, and then went on different teams na in the MPBL. I feel one of his more successful tournaments or seasons rather when he was with Bacoor, no?
Final sila eh.
Finals yun. That was a heck of a team. Wekute, John Nermal, Marky, Alvin Alday, Cranial Viloria. That team was stacked. At saka, wherever Coach Alex goes, you feel that level of chemistry ng mga players, eh, no? Yung commitment, that joyfulness, you always see it in his teams. And when we go back to that, you talk about the Abra thing from the perspective of the San Juan Knights. I think one of the key difference also is that the core players of the Abra Weavers are there. Samantalang itong Knights, they will rely a lot, I feel, on the young players that they have, sharing the spotlight alongside last year's, pretty much core players in Orlan Wamar, Jexter Marquez, and Michael Izan. And if you combine those veterans alongside these new young guys, it's a different style of play altogether para dito sa San Juan Knights, which makes it even more interesting come the regular season.
Para naman sa Zamboanga, obviously a lot of work to be done.
Yes.
But Coach John is really up to the task.
Yes. Well, he says naman he understands that this is a work in progress. A lot of new guys, to make them learn new schemes and undo some of the bad habits that they do on the offensive and defensive end of the floor.
Saka almost start from scratch.
Yes. Saka alam niya yung expectation that he expects from his players. I mean, he clearly said that this is the pro team. You see Kalisay with another three right there in the corner. There's just one guy that he could work on, especially for making shots on the outside. he was very clear na pro level ito. So if you talk about the reads and schemes, I expect you guys to be able to understand and execute on the floor. It's a different story altogether. Sabi niya na maintindihan mo kung kailangan makita natin sa floor para mag-benefit tayo as a team.
Sabi nga niya kay Coach Christian kanina, kausap natin siya. Nasa bench man ako. Champion daw sila. Nandun pa rin daw yung buhok niya. Yun yung sinabi niya, Coach Chris, ha?
Yan ang sinabi niya, Coach Chris. But he meant it in a joking way.
Kasi sabi ni Coach Chris, Coach John was really the life of that team that went back-to-back. Okay, he wasn't really part of the regular rotation, but because of how he was really chilling on his teammates.
Parang ano pala siya, parang glue guy siya ng team, ano? Keeping the energy up. No wonder he ended up in coaching.
He also coaches MG.
Yeah, MJ something.
Oh.
Yeah. Nakalaban nila was that other school and the Chinese League. I think that was Jubilee, if I recall correctly. That's what people mentioned earlier.
And yung twin brother niya is the sports director.
Yes. Oh, that's the part that I really got.
Nalilito ka din no?
I got surprised with that story na may kakambal si Coach John. So which made me think, sinabi mo na sabi ni Coach Christian na he had a twin brother, made me think, oh my God, sino nakalaban namin?
O sabi doon ni Coach Chris, mas pogi daw yun.
Grabe ang bawian ni Coach John at ni Coach Chris.
Kaya nga, imagine ko sila sa bench nun. Ha?
I've been here for, this is I think my 4th season. I've never sat down with Coach Christian face-to-face na nagkwentuhan kami. The only time I got...
You'll get your chance.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Pero the only time that I met Coach Christian was when I shadowed with Dip Dipanco.
Tagal na nun, Coach, ha?
Tagal na, that was 2019 if I recall correctly.
Oh.
That's when I met him and he gave me pointers very early. Pinakita niya sa akin yung mga notes niya. But after that, we never really got a chance to...
You'll get your chance, I'm sure. And certainly, San Juan will have a lot of chances to contend for the championship in the upcoming season. Grabe yung lineup nila. I mean, seriously. The way they have really, especially in terms of the wing guys.
Yes.
And ang kagandahan dito, you have guys from UP, played under Coach Gold system, the guys from Perpetual. Tawag nga ni Andrea dito yung ano tawag na dito? Maroon 7. Kasi puro
maroon, right? Include that. That's a good one.
Yung tatlong perps under Coach Olsen Racela. And, Coach Alex, when we had a conversation with him, he recognizes that. And gusto niya talaga na ilagay each and every one of them in positions where they could really thrive. And at the same time, we still have that core, which is, by the way, really potent. Orlan Wabar, Rene Lugnatan, this guy who's been waxing hot all afternoon long.
And they can do that. Yung have shooters around, leave the middle of the paint to be free for shot creators to do their thing. If the defense collapses, then they spray it out to their shot makers from the outside. And itong mga bagong guys that came in, I'd like to think especially yung Maroon 4, those guys coming from UP, they'll be here for a year, most probably. I'd like to think they'll be aiming for a draft in 2027. And so, this is, I'm sure, a chance na Coach Alex would make the most of in the hope that by season 8, they will be hailed as the champions of our season.
Maroon 8 pala. Si Raul Soyud nag-UP nga din, no? Pero usapan natin yung mga bagets.
Yung bago. Kung nato, okay naman, pwede naman bagets pa si Raul Soyud. Kaya lang, veteranong bagets.
Well, we're done with this game. San Juan with a wire-to-wire victory over Zamboanga, 116-73. And things looking bright for the Knights, still remaining unscathed in the preseason. But this guy really set the tone. I felt like ito si Jerry Abadiano because the way he played that point guard spot and also picking his spots on the floor was really key to that hot start for the Knights.
Yeah, the way that he really started the games set the tone and made it difficult for any defensive reads, for that matter, to be adjusted by Zamboanga. He was scoring on his own, he was feeding teammates, helping out on leak outs, and getting through the passing lanes, which earns him as our best player of the game.
Yeah, a 43-point beatdown by the Knights against Zamboanga as they pick up another win here in Group B action. And up next, two teams from the same group will collide. The Caloocan Batang Kangkalu will go up against the Marikina Shoe Masters. Kaya huwag kayong alis mga kaliga dahil magbabalik pa po ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League.